because of Tuesday Night Football. We are recording this at 6:30 in the morning on Wednesday.
Good morning!
Thanks, Titans. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. I just ran over my foot with this chair, Grossi.
I'm Jade Grossi.
Life is pain. And today we are here to bring you Week 6 predictions. Now, last week, obviously some games getting postponed, but I went 9-5, 55-21-1 on the season, while Jade went 8-6, respectable. It was the Vikings. The Vikings screwed you over. They screwed you over. Going 48-28-1. And so, it's a dead heat. It's so close, you can feel it. And so heading into...
I can feel it.
Starting with the Texans and Titans on Thursday Night Football, you have an AFC South matchup extravaganza. The Texans winning their first game after destroying the tumor that was Bill O'Brien. Will they be able to win a second game? Probably not, because here's the thing. The Titans, oh boy. You know, maybe I guess that extra week of rest did them some well because they whooped the Bills' ass. It wasn't even freaking fracking close. The Titans looked like a complete team. I would argue for the first time all season. They were sluggish. They weren't really doing well against these bad teams. And, oh boy, they looked damn good on Tuesday night. Yeah. Anyway, Titans look damn good. Titans are probably going to win this football game.
I don't want to say the Titans because they're making us record in the morning,
yes.
And they started the COVID outbreak, yes. So by default, I just don't like them.
Okay. So you want to pick the Texans?
I don't know. Okay. Whatever, I'm going to go with it.
Following that, you got the Battle of the Birds. There's
no Hawks.
I mean, there's the Seahawks.
Yeah, but that's not in this game.
It's not. You had the Baltimore Ravens, who had a shellacking of the Cincinnati Bengals, only allowing Joe Burrow to score 3 points. And seriously, for only $3 a day, you can help a Joe Burrow by getting him an offensive line. Taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles keeping it close. Keeping it close. And you know, I want to say something because the Eagles fans came in here. They came into the comments section. They were like, hey, Chap, our defense is not too bad. We got lots of sacks. So, you know what? I will give you that. Maybe my comments were made a little hastily, and for that I apologize. But at the end of the day, you still fracking lost, which is what I think is going to happen this week. Maybe he'll be able to keep it close for maybe like a half or something. But Carson Wentz at least looked better than he did. You know, that's kind of the best I got.
Still keeping him out of my fantasy. I don't trust him.
I wouldn't either. Yeah, the Ravens, though, you know, they're going to be on Revenge Tour 2020 after getting beat by the Chiefs 2 weeks ago. So I'll go with the Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens.
Quote them nevermore. Next up, you have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Falcons. Well, they got rid of Dan Quinn. He's gone. Salute to you, soldier. And then you have the Vikings, who it came down to just a couple of inches on Sunday night, but they couldn't get it done. And then they didn't kick a field goal. And then because of that, Russell Wilson was able to go down the field and he's able to score a touchdown. The moral of the story is the Vikings suck in perpetuity forever and ever. So
are you going with the Falcons then?
No, because the Falcons are a really bad football team. Now, again, here's the thing. The Falcons actually could wind up winning this if their offense actually showed up. If Matt Ryan from last week shows up, they're not going to win. But maybe the Vikings will, like, find their stride now. So maybe it will be like a...
decisions. It's totally different.
I mean, here's the thing. The Vikings are still going to hell. It's just a matter of, is it going to be a slow descent or is it going to be a nosedive? So I'm going to go with the Vikings for this week.
I am too, but I'm highly disappointed.
Then you have an AFC North matchup between the 4-1 Cleveland Browns Since when are the Browns good versus the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers? Listen, Chase Claypool had not one, not two, not three, but 4 touchdowns this past Sunday against the Eagles, and oh boy, was that offense rocking. But I will say, they kept it a bit close with the Eagles, a little bit closer than anticipated, allowed Carson Wentz to stay in the game, and it didn't strike a ton of confidence. The Browns obviously don't have Nick Chubb. We're still able to get it done. Baker Mayfield still had 2 interceptions, so that's not really so great. This is going to be the game of, like, are they for real? On top of that, even though Mike Tomlin doesn't care, I certainly care. This is also a reuniting, after Myles Garrett hit Mason Rudolph in the head with a helmet. So sparks are going to be flying and helmets might be too. Now, that being said, I think the Steelers are the more complete football team, and so I'm going to pick the Steelers for this first matchup.
As much as I'd like to go with the Browns, I'm going to go with the Steelers because I had to vote for the Vikings in the last round.
That makes sense. Meowing their way into this next game, you have the Bengals. That's a kitty. Versus the Colts. The Colts getting beat last week, and we were like, we knew you weren't that good. By the Browns, the team that we just talked about. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really look good, and Phillip Rivers, how he throws that football is just an abomination to God. Whoa. Anyway, it is. It's bad. It's like this sidearm hybrid of like, It's terrible. He might make a pterodactyl sound as he throws it. Going against Joe Burrow. Let's put it this way. The Colts defense is good. They are probably going to eat Joe Burrow alive. Joe Burrow obviously didn't look that good last week, had some picks. And on top of that, AJ Green actually not finishing plays and allowing picks to happen. But yeah, again, that offensive line is just $3 a day. Just $3 a day. And because of that, I think the Colts are going to win. They're a better football team right now.
Colts.
Purring.
That's better.
There you go. We got it because they're both cats. Our way into the next game, you have the Detroit Lions versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a story about 2 teams that are underperforming. The Jaguars, I mean, they've actually won a couple games, so they might be overperforming considering how I thought they were going to do. You can never count out the stash. Going up against Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. I mean, with all these firings going around, maybe Matt Patricia's seat is getting a little bit warm. And he's just like, yeah, that's right. I love my heated seats. Because honestly, who knows? Are the Detroit Lions even going to fire Matt Patricia? It really could go either way. But the Lions having a bye last week, coming off of it, I think they're going to be competitive. This is a game that they should win. And so, I mean, against all my better judgments, I'm going to pick the Lions.
I'll go with the Jaguars.
Meow. Grizzlying our way into the next one, we got the Bears versus the Panthers.
I hope you're happy. Whoever it was that suggested his transitions, now you're suffering with this.
Yep.
So I hope you're happy.
Because if I have to suffer, you have to suffer. The Chicago Bears coming off a Thursday night win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nick Foles, didn't look good for 3 quarters, but was able to get it done. Defense looked freaking fracking good. And now they take on the Panthers, who've had a little bit of a resurgence. Teddy Bridgewater is running all over the place, looking wild, running around like Hulkamania, except, not racist. And so here with the Bears, I think they have a good shot to win. I think that defense could give Teddy Bridgewater some fits. So I'm actually going to go with the Bears here. But it's really a win-win for me. Either the Bears win and I'm correct, or the Panthers win and the Bears lose. So, yeah.
I'm also going to stick with the Bears.
There you go. Football teaming our way into the next one. You have the Washington football team versus the New Jersey Giants. This is when you have a horse. Both of these teams, when you have a horse and both of its legs are broken in the back. And on top of that, it's hobbled into the street and has gotten hit by a car.
Tom.
And so it's just like, it's pulling itself and it's like, kill me. That's what both of these teams are. Daniel Jones, I'm never starting you in fantasy again. I thought you'd do well against the worst defense in the Dallas Cowboys. That didn't happen. Andy Dalton still beat you. On top of that, the amount of bad karma that you have coming your way because you destroyed Dak's leg is probably going to be pretty significant, and the football gods are going to punish you even further. Now, the Washington football team, you had Alex Smith come in. And, that was a nice feel-good moment before he got sacked 55 times. Their defensive line is good, but they have one of the worst offenses in the league. literally both of these teams are awful. If I'm going to give the edge to anybody, maybe Alex Smith has an extra week, but I'm going to go with the Giants. I shouldn't. I really don't want to pick either of these teams because they're so bad. But I'm going to go with the Giants. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
I'm going to go with Washington just because.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, why not? Galloping our way in while Paul Revere is yelling, "The British are coming." See, look at that connection. Look at that. What a transition that was. It's going to be better than this game. You have the Broncos, who had their game canceled last week because, the Patriots had a little COVID outbreak. But now you're going to be having Cam Newton and the Patriots hopefully back. I mean, I'm assuming Cam Newton's going to be back. The Patriots, actually looked pretty darn okay for a little bit against the Chiefs when they played last. But Brian Hoyer and Stidham let them down in the end. So we actually predicted this game last week, but they didn't play it. And so here we are again, and I'm still picking the Patriots. I believe you picked the Patriots as well.
Fine.
Okay. Flying in to the sunset above the ocean. Don't know what the words out of my mouth mean. You have the New Jersey Jets going up against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins beat the holy hell out of the San Francisco 49ers, which is pretty great. That being said, the Jets just let Le'Veon Bell walk away. Adam Gase is a blight on not only the National Football League, but to head coaches everywhere. The Jets do not deserve to win a single game this year. I'm so sorry, Sam Darnold. You deserve better. But this season's going to be pain. And then you're going to get replaced with Trevor Lawrence because your management has no idea what to do with you. So, Dolphins. Fitz magic. And then a blockbuster showdown. One of the most highly anticipated games of the season. You have the undefeated Green Bay Packers coming in, averaging 38 points per game, number 1 in the league, a top 5 rushing attack. Amazing in passing. I think they're like number 3 or something like that. And then also, they get a lot of yards. I wrote this all down. I said it in yesterday's video in the rankings, so just go back and pretend I knew what I was talking about today. It's early. Taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, it's Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers." No. It's Aaron Rodgers versus that Tampa Bay defense, who has a pretty damn good defense. However, Vita Vea is not in there, so maybe Aaron Jones is going to be able to whoop, 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 whoop. Except, Chris Berman with better hair is going to be able to find those running lanes. But on top, I think it's going to be a really good game. We're going to have some fans in there as well. Tom Brady, couldn't count to 4 a couple weeks ago, so that was problematic. But I think this is going to be a great test for the Green Bay Packers. And the Bucs, I mean, this is a game that they essentially have to win, or at least look really, really good losing. So I believe in the Packers. Devontae Adams coming back. Kenny Clark should be back. I'm going to go with my Green Bay Packers, of course.
They were on a bye, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers.
Ooh, coming well rested, unlike us. Climbing up the mountain for the next game is the LA Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy G getting benched. I thought, Jimmy G, Mostert coming back. You're like, oh, you're getting those high-powered offense back. Okay, it's going to be okay. It wasn't okay. And it's not just because the defense, obviously you have Thomas and Bosa out. No, that's not the only thing. I mean, that wasn't good. But on top of that, your offense was pitiful. Pitiful. They're bringing in the third string to replace Jimmy G. So here's the thing. Are they going to be able to turn the ship around? Jimmy G is obviously still hurt. That's still a nagging injury. I think they'll perform better. But the Rams right now, they're playing pretty damn good football. Just ignore 2 weeks ago against the Giants. So I think the Rams are actually going to come in here and beat the 49ers. But I could see how this goes either way.
Rams.
Ooh. Then the first of 2 Monday night games. First, you have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, if last night didn't happen, I'd be like, ooh, this is going to be a really good game. Maybe the Bills can win. Then I watched last night and I was like, oh, this might not be a good game at all. Josh Allen looked terrible. No discipline, all the penalties in the world on offense and on defense. And on top of that, the Chiefs, while they are coming off their first loss against the Raiders, I think that they're going to be a very pissed off team coming in. And looking at the Bills' defense against the Titans, they couldn't stop nothing. So I'm going to have to pick the Chiefs. And if Bills Mafia is upset about that, I mean, I was upset watching that game. So, sorry. Karma. Are you going to pick against the Bills Mafia?
Well, I like going with the Bills because I feel like they do this every year. They start out really strong and then they go... And, like, now we just may have hit that turning point where it's downhill from here.
Only week 6.
And I don't want to, like, I don't want
Sugar,
to
we're
into
going
that.
down swinging. I'll be your number one
But if
with
they-
a bullet.
Just played.
Yep, Tuesday, literally last night.
Right, so they don't even have a full week's
Oh,
recovery.
no, they got 6 days. And it's at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's an early game. Means nothing.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
There you go. Patty Mahomes coming in angry. And finally, flying on in and yeehawing their way in, you have the Cardinals versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys suffering a major, major loss with the loss of Dak Prescott for the rest of the year. May he rest up quickly because that was just
Painful.
that was brutal. That was very, very brutal. So now you're gonna have Andy Dalton leading the Cowboys, and I mean honestly, the Cowboys can still win that division because that division is straight up dog poo. You have the Cardinals, who have been struggling as of late. They haven't really looked the same, missing some key pieces on defense. The offense is literally Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, and that's about it. You know, they got to get Kenyon Drake more involved, but honestly, this could go either way. The Battle of the Seas.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals because...
You can go Cardinals? I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I believe in Andy Dalton. I think that he could do it. He's one of the best backups, and obviously, you know, has led teams before with the Bengals, and now he'll actually have an offensive line, so...
I know that name.
There you go. There you go. But those are our picks. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. And NFL, never do Tuesday Night Football again.
Yeah,
Please
agreed.
don't ever do this again. This is painful. Like we're crying.
Like, I need to leave for work 5 minutes ago.
And I haven't taken my morning poop. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media. See down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi.
And I'm Jade Grossi.
And as always, go Pack Go.